Hi. Hello. Happy day. Hello. Welcome to Musical Munchies. That's what I'm calling this channel. Basically, I'm just gonna be baking things and talking about my favorite musical. So today we're gonna be making banana bread and talking about my personal favorite musical, Natasha, Pierre, and the Great Comet of 1812. Recipe from David Seymour, who I watch on YouTube, and I really wanted to try it out, so let's get into it. Alright, so first we can go over the ingredients list, I guess. We've got this non-stick cooking spray for the pan. We've also got some all-purpose flour and some baking soda. Then we've got some Himalayan fine pink salt. And then after that, we have some dark brown sugar and some Greek yogurt. It said you could use mascarpone, Greek yogurt, or sour cream, so we're gonna go with it. We got some Greek yogurt. I definitely didn't forget that I needed 4 ripe bananas instead of 3, and I definitely don't have a banana in the oven, hoping it'll ripen. It worked. We have some unsalted butter, 2 eggs, 4 bananas. We've got these 3 and that one over there that was definitely already done. It called for bittersweet chocolate and we didn't have any, so I'm just gonna cut up this really dark chocolate bar and hope that it works. And walnuts, which we don't have walnuts, we have pecans. So there we go, we're doing pecans. So yeah, it was kind of weird when I first listened to it. I really wasn't into it. Where did my cup go? So yeah, basically I didn't really like it at all when I first listened to it. I think I got like halfway through and I just wasn't into it, so I didn't finish listening to it. But then like a few months later or something, one of the songs, I think it was The Abduction because that song was a freaking bop. But I think that song got stuck in my head and I was like, okay, I need to listen to this song again. So I re-listened to the musical and I still didn't like it. Like I wasn't a fan. So then I didn't listen to it again. Let me just sift this really quick. So after that second time through, I still wasn't a fan of it. So I like went on my way or whatever, and then a while later I gave it another try, and I listened to it for a 3rd time, and on the 3rd try I loved it. And I don't know what happened that I didn't like it the first 2 times and that I did the 3rd time, but it was a completely different experience, and I was really able to appreciate it more and listen to it all the way through. Maybe it was because because it is very jarring. For those of you who don't know, it's an electro-pop opera, so it's very weird to listen to, especially if you're like not used to that style. So maybe on the 3rd try, I was just like more prepared for it to be weird, I guess. But whatever it was, I loved it on the 3rd try, and it's been my favorite musical ever since. And I feel like that's a really hard thing to say, that something is like your favorite musical, because I know I have a lot of them that I really like, but like undeniably it's my favorite. Like hands down, I love Great Comet. So that was the flour and the baking soda. Now we're adding the salt, which is 3/4 of a tablespoon. And it was weird because that was the same experience for my friend. I told her, I'm like, you gotta listen to this, it's so good. And then she listened to it, she was like, I don't like this, this is weird. And then she gave it another try and she loved it suddenly. So, I don't know why, but basically if you're thinking about giving it a try, I would just say, don't be weirded out by it. Maybe give it a couple of listens, because I definitely think it's worth it, because it's one of the most beautiful musicals that I have ever listened to. It's amazing, so I definitely recommend giving it a try. So next we're going to use the mixer and beat the butter, brown sugar, and Greek yogurt. Oh, I forgot to mention, drink of the day. Milk tea. It's the tea that I used is a chocolate black tea. It's very good. 10 out of 10. So I guess I could do like a quick plot summary, I guess, of it. So basically, Great Comet. It's an electro-pop opera based on 70 pages of War and Peace. You know, your typical run-of-the-mill musical, I guess. But it's really complicated. There's a lot of different characters, and some of them play multiple characters, not many, but it's amazing. So it's really complicated. There's lots of different characters, but basically it centers around two main characters, Natasha and Pierre, in the title. Adding a third of a cup of Greek yogurt. And then that was a quarter of a cup of butter. And I'm also going to add 1 cup of dark brown sugar. But basically, Natasha and her cousin Sonia moved to Moscow to live with their godmother Maria. Introduced them to society and stuff. They both have their own fiancés who are in the war. Like the War of 1812 or something. So basically, they're just hanging out in Moscow waiting for their fiancés to get back. And hijinks ensue. So after that, they go to this opera and they meet. Well, I should mention, this is the song that's coming on. I should mention she meets her fiance Andre's father, who is not very nice, and she doesn't like them, and she gets really scared all of a sudden, and she's like, I don't know if I want this. Then she goes to the opera to watch a weird goat opera show thing. I don't know what it is. And she meets Anatole, who is hot, I guess. He's supposed to be hot. Have you seen Lucas Steele? A little bit scary. But anyway, she meets Anatole, falls madly in love, and yeah, after that, she kind of has a little flirtatious thing with him, and then she feels all bad about it. Basically, they end up starting to have an affair, and we're just gonna mix this up. So while that was mixing, I just went ahead and put some of the stuff away. And then I also cracked 2 eggs into here, so I'm gonna go ahead and add those in. Alright, so now we're just gonna go ahead and add in the flour mixture. She and Anatole were basically having a little affair. And at some point he was just like, yo, let's just get married. And she was like, okay. So their plan was to run away to Poland to get married. But plot twist, Anatole's already married and he's kind of a scumbag. So she doesn't know this, but I think it was, Sonia intercepted their letters and was like, they're gonna get married. And so she tells Maria, and then Maria's like, you're a promiscuous woman, and you shouldn't be marrying him because he's already married. And then Natasha's logical response to this is to try to kill herself. So that's not good. But yeah, and then so after that, she basically is just really sad for the rest of the show. While all of this was happening, there was a side story with Pierre. So Pierre basically is Pierre basically is Anatole's sister's husband, so Anatole's brother-in-law. And he's just like, he's this old man, and he and his wife aren't really getting along anymore, and he's kind of just sad and done with life. So his whole like side quest thing, I guess, is basically just searching for purpose and like figuring out why he's there. And he kind of does this through interfering with this situation and helping Anatole and Natasha to figure things out. And so, yeah, basically at the end of it, she's really upset. She goes to Pierre, and they meet for the first time in like the last song of the show. And he basically tells her like, I don't know what I can do, but if I could do anything, like if I could marry you or something, like I would. And that's basically enough for her to just like smile and be happy for a little bit. So it ends kind of wholesome. Next, we are going to mash up our bananas and add the chocolate and walnuts. I just love it. It's so beautiful. I really love a lot of things about it. The staging is amazing. It's like a theater in the round, but it's this weird shape. Also, this is disgusting. It's like a weird theater in the round thing where like the audience is around the stage, like all the way around it. But it's like, it's not a perfect circle. It's like there's like pathways and stuff going throughout the audience. So it's this weird, actually, hold on. My wonderful friend Anna made this for me for my birthday, and it's actually like a kind of painting of the stage design for Great Comet, because she knows it's my favorite musical. So yeah, you can see like the audience would be like, I think this is the orchestra pit here, but then the audience is all like in here, you know, around it, and the actors kind of just go in and out. And then there's all of these cool chandeliers throughout it with like a really big one in the middle. And it's so freaking cool. The set design is like amazing. Also, I love the story. It's really awesome, just like, cause it's like dramatic, but it's funny at parts. And I think I'm all like weird from baking it. I'm sure it's fine. But yeah, it's like funny at parts, it's serious at parts. The music is insane. Like, I don't know if you can hear this very well, but it's Danae Benton as Natasha singing No One Else, which is so beautiful. It's like just a very nice classic like love ballad kind of thing. And it's so pretty. Also Josh Groban, oh my gosh. He is somehow very bassy in it, but also like has these really high parts. Like his like main song, Dust and Ashes, where he's like really contemplating life. It's beautiful, but it makes me very upset because I can't sing it. I'm like a tenor, like kind of. I'm technically an alto too, but I sing better as a tenor, I feel. And I was like, oh, I can probably sing this, but it's too low for me in parts in the original key, and if I sing it up, it's too high. So it just doesn't work, and it makes me very upset because I love that song. Dave Malloy, if you're listening to this, how dare you? How dare you write music that I can't sing? Because that is not nice, and I don't like that. Oh, the lighting design, the absolute lighting design. Oh my gosh. If I could marry a lighting design, it would be the lighting design of Great Comet. With those chandeliers that I showed you, the at the end of it, when he's singing about the Great Comet, like the Great Comet of 1812, the chandelier in the middle of it starts lighting up, and so it has like these things where it goes like wah, 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 and it just gets like louder. And when it does that, the chandelier like flashes and then at the end it just gets like super, super bright. and then it fades out and it gets like quieter, and the chandelier gets dimmer. And so it looks like, even though the chandelier's not moving or anything, it looks like a comet, like going past, where it like comes up and it gets closer and it gets brighter and then it goes away. So it's so pretty, and that's like my favorite part of the show at the end with the lighting design. It's just amazing, and I love it a lot. Another thing is that it's just so different from everything else. Like, I feel like there's some musicals that are like, they're good, you know, like there's nothing wrong with them. But it just seems like you've heard it a million times, because it's all the same kinds of styles of music, and like you can kind of predict like where the progression is going and stuff. Like, I don't know, there's some things that's just like, that was nice, but I've heard it before, you know? And Great Comet is absolutely not that. It's just so different. So we've got our mixed bananas here. We're just gonna add them in a little bit at a time. So now we're just gonna cut up our pecans and chocolate. It's a half cup of each. One thing that's weird about this recipe is there's no spices in it. Like there's no cinnamon or nutmeg or anything. So I kind of think I'm gonna add some. I'm sure it's gonna be good, but there's just, hello? I'm sure it's gonna be good, but there's no spices in it, and I feel like there should be. So I'm gonna add some. Probably some nutmeg and some cinnamon, right? Maybe I just ruined it, but we'll find out. Alright, now we're gonna chop up our pecans and our chocolate. It's definitely my favorite musical, and I like it a lot. It's not only is it like pretty, but it has a good message, I feel. And it's just so entertaining. Like there's like I said, there's comedic elements, there's like serious elements to it. It's just, I feel like it's the perfect musical. It's had a half cup of chocolate, and I don't even know how much that is, so I kind of think we're just going to chop up this whole bar. I feel like you can't go wrong with chocolate. Like, you can't have, like, too much. Great Comet is one of those shows that, like, if I saw it, I would definitely cry. Like, wow. There would be many, many tears. I also just really like theater in the round shows. Like, I know that might be kind of weird to, like, get used to if you've never had that experience. But like we have a community theater around here that we try to go to kind of often. That's a theater in the round, and it's really fun. I love going there because it's a different experience, and it feels like a lot more like homey, I guess. And it's just a completely different experience, but it's really cool because it feels like you're kind of part of the show a bit. And it's also just like from an acting technique, I feel like just a different skill set that's interesting to see, because you have to not only play to one audience, but play to like all of your audiences. Like there's like a lot of different ways. So just like from a movement standpoint, that's kind of different. So it's a different experience, I feel. Hopefully they'll get picked up on the community theater circuit or something, so that I can see it, because I really want to see it. No! Well, you know, I'm gonna try the same thing again and fail again, but we did it. Okay. These are kind of big chunks, but I feel like it'll be good. I like kind of big pieces of chocolate, but I also am lazy, so I'm not gonna cut them up finer than this. Okay, let's mix this up and see where we're at. I feel like that's good. There's not a lot of nuts in there, but it's chunky enough. That doesn't sound good. There's enough things in there with the chocolate added that I feel like it'll still turn out good. I also feel like in Great Comet, I feel like it's relatable, not that we've all been shunned by society for having an affair, I guess. I don't know. But I feel like it's relatable because the characters are all flawed. Like, there's not really any like good guys in the show. There's something wrong with everybody. But also there's just such a variety of characters that I feel like there's somebody that everyone can relate to. Like, Natasha is a young, naive girl who just is kind of like a hopeless romantic. But then there's Pierre, who's a little bit more seasoned, I guess, unlike this banana bread. Just a little bit more done with life and having kind of that existential midlife crisis. But then there's also those characters that are just like upset with both of the characters. Like, there's Sonia, who's kind of the voice of reason in the show, where she's just like, you're all dumb. There's Maria, who's just trying to be like good mom and like protect Natasha. There's so many different characters that all just have different perspectives, and all feel like they're doing their best but still come up short. And I feel like there's somebody that everyone can relate to. So I feel like it is a good way of telling like stories about the human experience, basically. Even though we're not in 19th century Russia where it's like that kind of society. I don't know. Maybe that was too deep for this conversation, but I thought it was interesting, and it's my channel, so I get to do what I want. So now we're just gonna kind of smooth this out and then pop it in the oven for like an hour. I'm honestly so excited for this. I have been really craving banana bread, and I've been wanting to find like a recipe for it that was good. So here we go. We got our banana loaf. I'm not gonna show it to you. Well, I guess I can do this. Haha, look at that. Look at that absolute loaf there. So I'm gonna pop this into my 350 degree oven for an hour. And while that is baking, I'm gonna clean up and have an existential crisis about why I can't sing Dust and Ashes. Alright, hello. So, through the magic of television, we have a completed banana bread. I turned that off, right? Yeah. So, I'm not exactly sure what happened because I looked at it and it was like really crispy, but I stuck a butter knife in it and it came out like really raw. So I was like, I don't know why it's cooking so much more on the outside than the inside. But then I just checked it again and it was like almost burned. So this is what it looks like. It looks worse on the camera. It doesn't actually look that black. But I don't know what happened. It is so burned on the outside and it's still like a little bit raw on the inside, but I'm hoping it'll like keep cooking just a little tiny bit more as it cools. But I feel like it's not gonna be a big deal. I like things a little crispier anyway, and it's not like inedible, so it'll be fine. But yeah, for next time, I don't know why that happened. I usually don't have a problem with this oven, but maybe I need to do it on a lower temperature or something. So we're gonna try to take this out. Yeah, it's not bad. It's a little bit crispier than it probably should be, but I think overall it's fine. We're just gonna leave it like that for now so it can cool. And then after it cools for a little bit, I'll check back in with a taste test and some closing thoughts. Alright, so it's been cooling for a little bit, so I think we're ready to try it. Okay, this looks good. Not all of it sank to the bottom. There's like some of it did, but that's not bad. We gotta add a little bit of butter. Alright, let's go for it. It's pretty good. I feel like I could have used some more spices or vanilla or something, but I do really like that it's not like super sweet. It's like, but it's not like not sweet, I guess. It's perfect for me because I don't like things that are super sweet. So yeah, this is pretty good. I'd recommend it. I'll put the link in the description for the recipe if you want to try it out. But Great Comet, I'm really glad that I got to talk about it today because I love talking about it. It's my favorite show. And I really want you to check it out. If it sounded interesting to you, I think that I would definitely recommend checking it out. Again, I'd probably just say give it a couple tries, or maybe just go into it expecting it to be a little bit different, I guess. But yeah, super fun musical. It's definitely my favorite musical, and I really hope that I get to see it one day. And this banana bread recipe is pretty good. So thank you for joining me today, making banana bread and talking about Great Comet. And I hope that you enjoyed it and that you'll see me next week. I don't know what I'm gonna make, but we'll figure it out. We'll make something and talk about another musical. So, okay, bye.